I began the biggest challenge of my life, attempting a sub 7-minute lap time of the world's most dangerous racetrack, the Nurburgring. This track is notorious for some of the world's most lethal crashes. Accidents happen on this road almost daily, and today I unfortunately joined the long list of cars that have been crashed on the Nurburgring.
And this is the moment it all went wrong.
But before I show you exactly what happened and I find out just how much it's going to cost to fix the car, are you actually kidding me? There's no, how is that real? Let me explain the crash that would change everything and ultimately lead to financial disaster.
And this is the car I was doing it in, a brand new Porsche 992 GT3 RS. I took delivery of it just a few months before.
Whoa. This is going to spend a disproportionate amount of time on track.
At this point, I was a few days into the training program. My coach, Lars, had already found a lot of improvement in me, and I was getting more and more confident as the days went by. And these were the kinds of speeds I needed to get used to. 258 kilometers an hour or 160 miles an hour at this point was becoming a regular occurrence.
This wasn't just me turning up at the ring and having a go. Planned for months, and my coach was Lars Kern, a literal multi-record holder at the Nurburgring.
With more and more seat time, I was beginning to feel and understand the limits of the car. And although I wasn't pushing past them, I definitely wasn't going slow either.
The challenge is, the faster you go, inherently, the more dangerous each lap becomes.
Before continuing on this journey, I wanted to understand exactly what the risk was when driving on the ring.
Look how steep it is. Like, it's so steep.
So I met up with Darren of Destination Nurburgring, one of the longest running track day providers, to find out more.
How have you seen it change over the years? Like 20 years ago, like none of the infrastructure was here. And it was probably quite quiet, right?
Yeah, it was, well, it seemed a lot slower.
Okay.
Which is odd, because the younger you were, the faster you were, but the cars and everything were a lot slower.
Yeah.
I first started coming in a Peugeot 405 MI16, which I still own. Brilliant. And you'd be on track with MX-5s or Mark II Golfs or, you know, that kind of ilk car, and that was the common car. Performance level has just gone on again, but it's got consequences.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Everything's moved on, performance levels go up, the speed goes up, the crashes get more fierce, and that's the downside of it, in my opinion.
Now, when you have an accident on the ring, it's not like any other track in the world where you have to only pay for just your own car. The costs can increase exponentially. Costs of when it goes wrong. Can you give us some examples of the costs of the barriers, let alone someone's car?
Well, I mean, each of the little rivets can be 68 cents. A stretch of Armco is probably 140 euros. The fence posts are 68 euros each to resite. They're triple stacked. So that multiplies the cost.
Oh, so you're talking about each strip, not each section, each strip.
And each strip's 4 meters long. So it's like 100 euros per meter, 400 meters per stretch times 3. It can get quite spendy quite quickly.
So what exactly does that mean? Well, here's one that was unfortunately made earlier.
I reckon 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 2.5 grand.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
If you're going to crash tomorrow, by the way, try and hit a section of barrier that someone's
already hit. Okay. Did we get a discount there?
Charge.
There's no charge?
No charge.
So strategic crashing.
But sometimes hitting just one barrier is the least of your problems.
Has he he's bounced off, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Look at this line. See this? So that sort of shiny barrier there, you can see his line here, and then he's just added some invoice here, look. It's just boom. So that's the same incident, so it's probably more like 3.5 grand.
Near a 4.
Near a 4.
That escalated quickly.
But it gets worse. On tourist laps, if you have a mechanical failure, for example, and you spill oil causing other cars to crash, at the Nurburgring, it's classed as a toll road. You fall under German road law, and you are to blame for the accident, meaning you're liable for any other cars involved.
Most UK insurance companies, however, won't cover you for driving on the Nurburgring. As a British registered car, you're almost always excluded. It's a loophole that's caught out plenty of drivers long after it's too late. So, all of these costs could come out of your pocket.
In order to maintain the FIA race licenses, they've got to maintain the infrastructure and the circuit, and Germans say that if you crash and damage anything, you've got to pay to repair it.
On top of that, on public days, if you have a crash that closes the ring, you may have to make up for the loss of revenue from the Nurburgring being closed, which could be tens of thousands of pounds.
But yeah, it can get quite costly before you top up the damage you've done to your own car.
Yeah, and then get it back home.
And if you are unfortunate enough to get a ride to the hospital in an air ambulance,
that's on the bill as well.
And yeah, you're from outside of the EU, for example, or you don't have your health insurance card that we do in the UK that extends the NHS cover to us, then that's all chargeable. You respect the place, and you can't underestimate it. You can't drop your guard. You've got to be on your A game for the whole lap.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
If anyone's never been here and they're thinking about it,
come.
I mean, there's no other way, is there?
I agree with you. You've just got to come. If you drive 1 lap or 10 on your first trip, it doesn't matter. It's like a mecca for petrol heads. So if you've even got like an ounce of interest in it, you're going to enjoy it, so just come. Even if you don't drive, just come.
And Darren's right. There is nowhere else in the world for passionate petrol heads quite like the Nurburgring. It's the longest and most challenging circuit in the world, and deep down, I think that's why many of us love it. However, it comes with its own set of unique risks too.
In summary, if there is one place on earth you don't want to crash, it's at the Nurburgring.
It seemed like just another lap. I was once told, if you do enough laps here, by the nature of the beast, on one of those laps, something was going to go wrong. But as I said earlier, I was getting more and more confident at the speeds required to begin this challenge, which may have been my biggest mistake. I got too comfortable on the world's most dangerous racetrack, and it very quickly reminded me why this place is called the Green Hell. In an instant, I'd hit the wall. My mind at this point flashed back through the months of planning, all the training, travel, filming, cost and investment, let alone the people who had supported me along the way. In that instant, it was all brought into question.
Well, I guess this is what happens when you push it. This is what happens when you push it. Full airbag deployment, the full thing.
The impact was pretty hard. Luckily, there was a tyre wall, but one of those 68-cent bolts had managed to puncture a 700-pound tyre. But that was the least of my worries.
Just need inspection now, just to see how not good it is.
This was a total disaster. Seeing the car, I was so excited to take on the journey, just hanging there. Lars wasn't particularly happy either.
But why? Why the does he need to go all in?
The thing I dreaded the most has just become reality.
He was clearly sending it. Yeah. Because you only crash when you're sending it.
Seeing the damage was devastating. This car was only a few months old, which I paid $260,000 for. And here it was, smashed into a barrier at over 70 miles an hour.
I've got so many questions now. How much was this going to cost me? How long will it take to fix the car? How long is that fix going to take away from training? What's my coach Lars going to think about this? And how exactly did this happen, and where did I go wrong?
And before we find out just how much it's going to cost for me to fix this car, Lars showed me exactly where I went wrong.
Yeah, the problem is the end. Here, you're good.
Okay.
But again, your angle is wrong.
Okay.
Because your angle is here. You want to angle there to open up the corner. When you exit the curb here, it's really smooth. You don't feel that you're going off the curb.
Okay.
But if you go off the curb here,
like I did.
yeah, it's less than ideal. You went in too direct.
Right.
You didn't go left and right.
And then right.
You made
A straight line for it.
Look at that.
Yeah. Sure.
You want to come from here and angle it
much
here.
further over left.
And angle it. And then on top of at the wrong angle, you went into the
Yeah.
bump, and then it's just.
It turns out I took a curb wrong. As we saw from the track walk with Darren, these curbs at the ring are massive.
However, I really needed to see it for myself, so I headed back to the corner to relive this awful moment and to fully understand the nuances of this costly curb.
I mean, this is where it all went wrong. It turns out I was a tyre width to the left, just too much. Apparently, you've got to literally put it on the dirt here. Hence, you can see there's been some landscaping taking place here. And then I just came up here, because I got the line wrong, this curb just unsettled the outside of the car. You're coming in at quite a pace, and by the time it's unsettled, your trajectory is wrong for this next corner. Tried to correct for it, but the car's all out of shape. The most frustrating thing is, of the 400 plus laps I've done here over the years, I have never taken that curb once. So why now? And I guess that's just one of the things I'm going to have to live with.
I think everybody who did a lap under 7 minutes shunted before he did a lap under 7.
We should have had that conversation before we went into this.
You think it would have changed anything?
No,
So
still done it.
Yeah. So what's your first guess?
90, 100 grand.
But the amount it would cost to actually fix this car from Porsche is astronomical. You'll find out exactly how much I was quoted later, but first, we need to get this car into a workshop and see just how bad the damage really is. And for that, I got just the guy.
We've got our first customer. Have gone. Airbag there. Looks like he's got so lucky with this door.
It's been over a week since the crash, and I haven't seen this car since that day. So for me, seeing it for the first time was plain weird. But I was interested to see how bad the damage was and whether Matt thought it was fixable or not.
All right, so this is kind of the first time that we've really had a bit more of an in-depth poke around in this since we got it in Matt's garage.
It didn't even cross my mind that you could possibly crash, because I would have said like, oh, if you crash, let me know. But, like,
But before Matt could even begin the rebuild, because the car wouldn't start, he wanted to make sure it was due to the pyro fuse, a component that breaks connection with the ignition when the airbags go off.
Whoever had a question over the value of PPF, this bonnet, I think, is around about 20 grand. Bonnet. It's full carbon.
I've touched every single nut and bolt on a Porsche, so I know exactly where everything went.
Pull the PPF off, this carbon bonnet. It's perfect. It's unbelievable.
A few days ago, I'm focused on lapping the ring, and now I'm in Matt's garage back in the UK, and he's well on the way to finding out if it's actually repairable or not.
The entire dash, do you know when it's out, the car will be completely, not only the dash, the steering column is out, everything, the whole thing will be completely stripped. There'll be nothing in here apart from that roll cage.
Oh, it's going. Something snapped, so we're out.
That is the dashboard out.
Ludicrous, man.
Right. There she is.
That's it.
And all that's doing there is the power from the battery goes down here onto that and allows all this body electric to power up. But the one thing it's stopping the power going to is down this wire here, which goes directly to your starter motor. And that's why it won't start. So if you took that off and moved that onto the other side, it would start.
And after Matt had looked over the car, he thought it was a straightforward repair. So let's see how much it would be for Porsche to fix the car.
Porsche have taken a look at the car as well as Matt, and Porsche have quoted how much it is as an estimate to fix the car. I'm just going to break down some of the cost components first, just to give you a sort of idea as to why it might cost this much. Magnesium wheel. Now, this is the damage which got caused impacting the barrier. 9,610 euros just for the wheel. Not the tyre, not the central locking mechanism, not including fitment, just the wheel. Front bumper, just this. 4,746. This will blow your mind. Come here. Bonnet. This section here, 21,251 euros.
Thankfully, the PPF from AR Exclusive literally saved the bonnet, so it turns out I didn't need one of those.
Unbelievable, so that saved me a massive chunk of change. Right front wing, 15,842. Headlamp assembly, 3,950 euros.
Now, this was just a few parts from the 11-page official quote just to help you contextualize what I'm about to show you next. But before I do, you might find these next few seconds quite helpful.
Speaking of money, if you've ever financed a car, you might want to listen to this. You could be owed thousands and not even know it. For years, car dealers have quietly been pocketing secret commissions on finance deals, some dating all the way back to 2007. You might have been charged an unfair interest rate on a PCP or HP agreement without ever even realizing it. But the good news is you could claim some of that money back. Sure, you can go to your lender or the financial ombudsman, but if you've got no idea where your old agreement details are, or you just don't have the time or patience to sort it all yourself, there's a faster, easier option. Reclaim 24/7 can instantly search for any car finance agreements linked to you since 2007. Just provide your name, address, and date of birth. No paperwork, no car reg needed. If there's a claim, their panel of specialist solicitors will take care of everything. No win, no fee, no upfront costs. No catch.
It's free to check, takes just 60 seconds, and you could be owed thousands. It's well worth checking using the link in the description below or scan this QR code.
Total repair costs, including VAT, 228,423.70 cents.
But it gets worse. Separately to Porsche's quote, the Nurburgring sent me the barrier bill. The pickup truck was a few €100, and transporting the car back to the UK was a few €1,000. I had also recently fitted a V-Box system, which allowed me to film onboards and assist in training, which I barely even used yet. And that, you guessed it, was another few €1,000. And here it was, dangling and broken. That means hitting the barrier cost me over €250,000, which is insane. How could it possibly cost that much when that is almost the cost of the car, brand new?
Well, it's back. So that last scene with the truck leaving the ring was filmed on the 6th of May. Today, it's the 28th of July.
That's 52 days, and I still haven't been back to the Nurburgring.
So what's been going on? With official to repair costs being so high, it was really cool to be able to collaborate with Matt on getting the car back in the game.
As far as cars that you've had in your workshop then,
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad?
No, this was actually quite fun to do because we've stripped apart so many
Right.
that this was like, we knew exactly what we were doing and exactly where we needed to go.
You just wouldn't know. I mean, it's so mad. Honestly, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
Bro, I can't believe you pulled that on. That's absolutely bonkers.
It looks amazing, doesn't it?
That's ridiculous.
But this wasn't without its compromises either. With the GT3 not being repaired by an official Porsche centre, something snapped, so we're out. It's no longer a certified car, which means one of the problems, it's lost its warranty. And this has already caused a potential challenge for my insurance when I eventually come to do time lapse in the future.
As an insurance broker, we don't want to be taking anything that's higher risk than it needs to be. So the GT3 RS, with it having been repaired by a non-approved repairer, it's nothing against Matt. It's just trying to remove any risk. We don't want to cover it again at the Nurburgring.
Is that at the ring or is that timing?
That's it, yeah. That's the issue.
Okay,
Obviously, when we go to the ring, it is about the timed temp.
So I can take it on the ring, but I can't time with it. And the problems don't stop there. This crash has not only cost me financially, but it's also cost me mentally. It cost me a lot of time, and it's inadvertently cost me my coach too. Now, working with Lars is super cool. Watching his Nurburgring successes over the years was a massive inspiration for me personally. But unfortunately, the crash has shifted the entire schedule to the point where Lars's racing and development commitments and my dates just don't align for the remainder of the season.
And this has been one of the biggest challenges. I'm only driving the ring on dedicated track days, which unlike tourist laps that are on most evenings, track days have very select dates.
Ultimately, the crash ruined the schedule, and many of the dates that I had hoped to attend, we've been unable to make work. Right now, I am without a coach, which is kind of essential if I want to make the progress I need to be anywhere close to this goal.
But as I shared earlier, this has also taken its toll psychologically.
You just play it over and over again in your head, to the point where I'm now nervous thinking about my first lap back since the crash.
The section I made a mistake on is called Hatzenbach, a tight, twisty set of corners, but I can't help but think of some of the much faster sections of the circuit and what could possibly go wrong there.
Genuinely been thinking, are all of these problems a sign? Or maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
So as of right now, I've got no coach, no support, and no idea what's next.
But I do have a car again, and that is by far and away the biggest step in the right direction. This challenge has just demanded so much of me so early on in the program. I mean, I knew that it was going to have its ups and downs, but don't get me wrong, I didn't quite expect them to be so soon and so dramatic and frankly so expensive. But here we are, the car is back online, and the only answer now is to head back to the ring. So, if there was ever a time to subscribe, now is it, because I've got a funny feeling this is just getting started.